Hi everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. Today I'm going to be showing you the alternate stamp set for my February card club. So I have an online card club. We do 6 projects together every month. The goal of my card club is that hopefully each month you learn something, that maybe I show you something that you hadn't thought about before, or we kind of tweak something that we've done in the past. So this is the first project. If you go over to this video and you watch this tutorial, then you'll learn all about Card Club. I'll tell you a little bit about it here, but I go more in depth on it. So this month, the stamp set that I'm using is Everyday Details, and then the dies that go with it. You don't have to have a die cut machine. Anything that's die cut for our projects or uses a folder comes already cut and ready for you, and I'll show you a little bit about that, but you can learn a lot more. So this month, Everyday Details, and then occasionally on some months I offer an alternate stamp set, which is what I'm doing this month, and I'm going to use Inspirational Sketches. So I'm going to use that as our alternate. When you purchase the alternate stamp set as part of my card club, then you get the supplies to do 2 additional cards. So one is the one I'm going to show you today, and then the other one is just for the card club members. If you don't purchase it, you still get to see the videos, but you just don't get the extra supplies for the 2. So Inspirational Sketches is our alternate. So here's, like I said, the first card, and then every month as part of Card Club, I'm going to say every month with a little bit of an asterisk, it's 99.9% of the months, but some months I switch it up a little bit. So on the off chance, and usually when they're switched, it tends to be December. But this month, everybody's going to get a celebration item of my choice. And then you get a half a pack of the perennial lavender paper. You get a full package of the purple gems and a full spool of the linen thread. And then the supplies, cut ready envelopes for 6 cards. We do 3 designs, and so you do 2 of each, and it comes all ready to you. So that is the basics of Card Club. And then I've been doing the Card Club for about 2.5 years, and over those 2.5 years, like when I started, it was pre this inflation, and my cost has not changed. So I am going to be raising the price soon. It's the cheapest thing I offer, and it still will be the least expensive thing that you can get mailed to you. So how it's going to work is one day when I get time, which won't be today, it'll probably be next week when I raise the price. It's currently $38, and I'm going to have a look. 40 to 42 is what it's going to go to. If you're already in club, you're good. It's not going to go up. So if you want to get in on the 38, if you ever pause or cancel, which you can always do that, and come back though, you'll come back at the current price, because the paper's gone up, the embellishments have gone up, the ribbon hasn't so much gone up. The bags I use, the mailing bags, the postage, I put candy in every month, and the candy's really gone up. So just to so I don't want to lose money and do this. So that's just a note on the pricing. Currently it's $38 a month, and then that just comes out. That's to get all of the stuff, and then you can add the other things on. And when you add something on, I pay the taxes and the shipping, so you just get it at catalog cost. So let's do today's project. Mine's not cut in half because I don't have a packet yet. So I used this sheet of perennial lavender paper, and I'm going to show you how I cut it. I cut it 4 inches. So it's 4 inches, and then I did 5 1/4 and 5 1/4, and then that left a little strip here at the end. This is the other side. And so this strip here that is still 4 inches, I cut it in half. So you would have it for 2 projects. So we're gonna use this paper. And then, like I said, I'm gonna use the Inspirational Sketches. It goes really, really well with this paper. I wanted to do the perennial lavender, but I knew that a lot of you already had the stamps and dies. So that's why we're doing Everyday Details as the actual club set, and then Inspirational Sketches as the alternate. The Everyday Details comes with dies. So if you want, you can add these on, but you can use them with anything, because they are the rectangles. Don't you love when you take your dies out and they got all that sticky stuff? And then there's some of the little holes, and then there's circles. So on today's project, I'm using the circles, but I'm using the largest of the circles. And I've already run it through on crumb cake. And this is how the packet would come to you. Now, and when it's an alternate, so you would just get one. So you would get these pieces. to do it, and then you cut your paper. So let's make the project. It's so cute. So this is Blackberry Bliss. I don't use that color very often. We just recently, my husband helped me about every 6 months. The paper could just overwhelm me and swallow me up literally in my office. All the cut paper scraps. I need a bigger house. I need a better studio because we cut paper downstairs, then it gets put on the stairs, then it gets carried upstairs, then it gets laid somewhere. Anybody else relate? I'm going to ink this in Memento. So as you're doing it, you notice what colors you never use because we do it by color family to go in my scrap thing. And when there's no purples, there's freesia. I did use a lot of freesia. Oh, and then I was going to show you this. I hardly ever show the projects unless you're in club, but this is our current club. This is January club, which is already over. So this is the card that you can go watch. And then these were the other 2 projects that we made that month in. So they got all the stuff cut and came to them that way. So it's a little peek of what we did what they're doing this month. Is on the way to them, getting there now. So I'm going to color this in. I'm going to show you what I did because this is how we kind of learned some stuff. This is the club card, right? So I'm going to use this template and I'm going to switch it up just a fraction to do today's card. So this is what I was going for, this kind of overall look. But a different piece of paper, and then I obviously have the circle and the mushrooms. But on this one, I used the Wink of Stella and ink pads to color it in, so I'm going to do the same. This is crumb cake. It does not look like crumb cake because the labels on crumb cake always turn green. I don't know why. So grab my Wink of Stella. If you don't want it to be shiny, then you can use a blender pen. You can use blends if you want to color in with blends. So I'm just going to do a quick coat and then I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to do this big one. So I'm going to put crumb cake on all the stems and all the tops of my mushrooms. So let me finish that. Those are all colored in with crumb cake. Now I'm going to take Pebbled Path and I'm going to do the underside, like the inside of the mushroom cap, right here where there's that dark with the Pebbled Path. It's a darker color. It does dry a little bit lighter than when it goes on. So don't panic and think, oh, that's pretty dark. So let me color these. So I've done the undersides and now I'm just going to get a tiny bit to kind of use up what's on my brush. Instead of swapping it on the paper, just anywhere where there's that kind of highlighting, get a fraction more. On the stems here. Now I'm going to get some blackberry. And this one you literally just need a tiny, tiny bit because it's a really strong color. And I'm going to put it again where the shading is. You'll do better if you get less, and you do also better if you do it not quickly, but you don't want the first coat to dry all the way because if it doesn't dry, the Wink of Stella hasn't dried yet, then these will mix nicely. So that's the coloring. It goes super fast, and I almost always, and I will this one, do a sped up version over on my Instagram page so you can see all of the coloring instead of me just magically having it be there. Now this month we're working with the brayer, and didn't shut that up. It's another add-on, so you can add on the brayer if you don't have it at catalog cost. I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape. And normally when you ink a brayer, and on one of the cards we will probably use it the real way, but make sure that it's like you're painting and you keep going. If you go back and forth like this, you're going to just get a section of this and there will be noticeable lines. So you want to kind of go all the way around and keep moving it that way. But I'm going to use the thumping method for it. So I'm going to kind of put it on here. I don't want it to be on my mushrooms. So I'm going to kind of keep it just in there. And then in these little spots, you can just kind of go back in and get it. Kind of grunges it up. Makes that a little like foraging out in the forest for some mushrooms. So get that. And then I'm just going to take the rest of the ink from this. And when you use this particular piece of paper, all of your cards are going to look a little bit different because the way this paper is. So got that on there. It kind of makes this match nicely. So that's that. Let me grab a wet wipe. It's the same one I used last time. So just wipe this off real quick. When I did the other card, I used 3 colors, I think. I think I used the crumb cake and also the white. So we're going to use white on this one. So let's get our base. But this time we're going to use it with the stamp because there's a really fun stamp that comes in the Inspirational Sketches. And it is this little background kind of thing. I'm going to use white. And on my other video, there was still a little bit of purple on here. It eventually works itself out, and it's perfect because I am using it on purple. So if any of it pulls up, I have a white pad that I only stamp with, and it's much cleaner. This is the one that I use like if I have my blending brush or anything that might get the pad dirty. It still is white ink, it's just the pad gets dirty. And then let's go over and get this. It does take a few times to stamp it on this because it's a lighter color, and you can see it pulls up the purple ink off of this. So that's why if it bothers you about your stamp pad, you'll have to clean this off every time before you stamp with it. I just buy 2. Stamping's supposed to be fun. I don't want it to stress me because my pad's getting dirty. So just kind of fill this in. And I've done it once, but now on the second coat where the white hits white, it'll be a little bit darker. It's probably a little bit tricky to see on camera. And again, I'm not getting it on my mushrooms. See, now as it's getting darker, you could also, if you wanted, you could wait for this to dry all the way, and then you could emboss this with white or clear over the top. But I like the grungy look. Can you see that? And then we're just going to add a little bit to this, remembering that a lot of it's going to be, see, it's getting all, you can see the purple lines on there. But you can avoid that by just washing off your stamp in between every time. Or not using white. You could use green. You could use the spruce that's in the paper instead. It's even dirtier now than when I accidentally dirtied it the other day. Okay, so that's good. Then we have, there's sentiments in the Inspirational Sketches. So I picked one that says grateful for you. And this little scrap right here, I'm going to do with Blackberry Bliss. Let me show you how I put the stamp on here. I'm already dirty, so might as well get all the way dirty because I didn't wash this off. So you know when you have words and you want to get them straight on here, you may have the stamp apparatus and you could take that out, but this is a little bit quicker of a method. So I lay this on here, just like this, a little bit of ink. And you can see that's not perfectly straight. Let me do it up here where you can see it. Yep, that's how I want it to be. So you put this down and you can see that it's straight on the lines. You could use grid paper if you don't have a glass mat. And now when you pick it up, you can see that it's straight. So I don't have to hope that I mounted my sentiment on straight because it is straight. One last little thing. I have a little bit of ink left on here, and now that my words are on it, we can kind of grunge this up as well. There we go. And now I'm going to get my wet wipe again and clean up my mess. You can take the brayer over to the sink and run water on it, or you can roll it on a wet wipe or on your chamois until the ink comes off. But when you're using a dark color like Blackberry, I think it's easier to just use a paper towel or a wet wipe. So now this is a really fun way to do this. to get our ribbon on here. It is, I'm not going to say time consuming. It'll take me maybe 3 or 4 minutes to do it. So I'm going to show you how to start and then to finish it. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom. And I'm going to do about what I think will go halfway-ish. Because you don't want to keep pulling this all the way through. And if, not only do the mushrooms take me back to the 70s, but this kind of does too. We used to do this like in Girl Scouts, where you would do the little thread yarn through poked holes. So you can see I've pulled up, and then every single time I'm just going to go down in the hole. It's easier when your thread gets shorter. So go down, and you can see I'm holding the other half with my nice purple fingers. So down, and then pull it, not tight, but you don't want it to, you want it to lay nice and flat. So just keep going all the way around with this one. And this one should get me a little bit more than halfway maybe. And every time, just kind of where they stick like that. The shorter this thing gets, the less it sticks. But you don't want to have, you only have want to have one point where the two meet. All right, so you can see that this took a little more than half. So I'm gonna take this now and I'm gonna put some adhesive back here on the back. I used to seal on the other one. I'll just use some Seal Plus because that's what's in here. And just hold that in place, and I'm gonna trim this. So now we have this that will continue on. So you wanna do it, we're gonna need that, then we're gonna need some extra. And then I'm going to do that about twice. Linen thread is inexpensive. Now I can start back here from the bottom, and it's the same thing. We're going to go. So now you have this. It's harder to go up with the thread because it will separate. So I'm going to do this from the back. So just pop it upside down, because if you're trying to come up with your thread, this is like 3 pieces of linen thread rolled into one. And so I found when you try to go up every single time, see how it separates? You can control it going down because you can see that it's happening. Otherwise, you're just fighting with it when you're doing it coming up. So just flip it over and do it upside down. All right, so I did mine just long enough, but it works. I had to pull the other one off to get them. So now we're gonna tape this down back here. Now you can probably use a needle. You can use the other twines. A white would be really pretty on here. And those aren't also the 3 thicknesses of thread, so they don't separate as much. Now let's put this together. Or if you want, just attach the ribbon like this. You don't have to go all the way around. I'm going to do another card that's not part of this suite. I have some fun ways I'm going to try to attach ribbon in Club this month. So let's get this. Oops, I forgot that I had my Seal Plus. I wanted to be able to tell you how long it took to do that, but I had somebody come to the door, so it won't be the exact right amount of time. Let's put this on here. Now my other one had butterflies, and so the whole placement of the card was by where the butterflies are. This one doesn't have the butterflies, so it has butterflies, but not where my other one did. So I'm going to put this a little bit lower because I don't want to lose both of them, although we might. Nope. I'll just put it over here. So it's going to be different. And so when you see the card, you'll see to keep the butterflies, you just have to put these in a different spot. Now, wherever your thread ended up, stick a dimensional on top. Now, it's one more way to ensure that it's going to stay on there. Isn't that fun? Aren't my hands dirty? Every time I would go around, I would see them getting more and more purple. Some blackberry hands. And unfortunately, I have already gotten showered for the day. Sometimes when I'm going to do a messy card, because now I've done it twice, I try to remember. So there's our butterflies, so we're not losing them. And then you'll have your gems. They come in 3 different shades. I am down to the end of a packet. Those are also my free gift with purchase in January. But my February is starting on January 31st, so I can go ahead and order my thank you gifts. So if you order on you'll get a packet of these if you order on the last day of January, or if you have ordered from me already this month. You can find the details of that on my website. I guess I have a couple of the lighter ones. So let's go from dark to light with those, and then let's get a couple of the little ones. So much fun. I love this card. I love the paper. I love the little kind of crafty tip. If you saw my video in the end of December, I think it was right before the new year, I had taken some of our products and I had embroidered a Christmas hoop with them. So this kind of is, I must be back into needlepoint. I haven't done it for a long time, but I do love it. It's nice and relaxing. So here is this, just same basic template, same basic principle. Ribbon a little bit switched up, stamps a little bit switched up. On this one I stamped. I did stamp on this one too when you watched the video, but I did a lot of the brayering. And then here is the other one. So you can see I placed it here because here were the 2 butterflies. There's 2 butterflies under the paper as well. There was no way to get around not doing that. So I wanted to save these butterflies. So everything I placed on here, I was intentional about where it was going. So if you're interested in joining my card club, just head over to my website. If you're on my email list, there is a page dedicated to Card Club. Later this week, I will have the links up for you guys to add stuff on. But if you go watch this blog post or this blog post, there'll be a card club join thing underneath it. And if you want to get in before I raise the price, you better do it. It's on my things to-do list. But tomorrow I'm out all day with wedding stuff, so I know it's not going to happen. Friday would probably be the earliest, but if I get on it, it may be Thursday. Everybody have a great day. Bye.